It's time to get away. Today we're heading to Nicaragua.
Yeah, travel journalist Justin Walter joining us today. Nicaragua, big country, might be a little overwhelming for people to plan. So where do you want to start?
Yeah, it's the largest country in Central America. I actually went a year and a half ago on a solo backpacking trip, and I would recommend starting in Ometepe. It is an island in Lake Nicaragua. It is formed by two volcanoes, so you have to go there by boat. It is actually the highest island lake in the world, and it is a stunning destination where there is so much adventure. I recommend once you arrive by boat, the best way to explore the island is hands down by renting a scooter, a motorbike, or an ATV. The roads throughout the island are easy to navigate, and it is a smaller island when you kind of navigate through the towns, through the different area by motorbike. There's me on the scooter. I had such an adventure just going to different waterfalls, hikes, lakes. So much fun just having the air go through my, the wind in my face and just enjoying the local neighborhoods. I would definitely recommend one of the spots to go to is Playa Mangos. This is a small beach that is on, there you go, look at the beach right there and the area there. It is one of the best locations because you can grab a beer, you get a good view of the volcano, and there is a swing that you can swing on and have a good time there. And the other destination I would recommend on the scooter adventure is Ojo de Aguas. It is a crystal clear watering hole. You have very bright blue waters and emerald waters. When I first arrived, I thought this is going to be a tourist trap, but it was actually full of a lot of locals. The water is a natural spring hole, and here is a Tarzan rope swing that you can go on. Now, you might think that I would be good at this, but take a look. I am not good at the rope swing. I definitely did not land it very
still
well.
did pretty
No,
good.
you still did well.
There were people that were going and flipping and doing a lot of
Yeah.
dives, but I would say that this is one of the coolest spots to go to, and it was a great kind of refreshing spring in the middle of the island versus being on the outside of the island where enjoying the beaches and the volcanic views.
It looks awesome. Chris brought this up during commercial break, and we were talking about Nicaragua, and it's like you don't really think of it, or at least I don't, but has this become much more popular as a touristy destination? And one thing, and you said it, and I really noticed it when you were showing the deck there, very Costa Rican-like a little bit.
I would say that Nicaragua would be like Costa Rica in the past. Costa Rica is probably the most popular destination in Central America, and most people gravitate towards Costa Rica. So it's really now built up, and it's very popular, whereas Nicaragua felt very rustic to me. It felt like an off-the-beaten-path adventure. That's the type of adventure I truly love to go on. So it did feel like going back in time and getting a piece of Central America that is still untapped. In the culture there, the people felt really local compared to being kind of a tourist trap or tourist destination.
And talk about your favorite spot.
Yeah, my favorite spot on Ometepe, that island we just saw, is Punta Jesus Maria. This destination, first you have a view of the volcano right there, but when you turn around, it is a stretch of black beach that has waves crashing on both sides of the beach. So you can walk out to the tip of this beach, and there's the beach right there. The waves are crashing on both sides. I felt like I was in the movie Interstellar. It felt out of this world. So you walk to the end of the beach where the sun goes down at that point, and the waves are crashing on both sides.
Is the tide a factor? Is there sometimes you'll go and...
No, it's the beach is kind of always, the waves are crashing.
Amazing.
So here's a 360 view. That stretch of beach right there is one of the most gorgeous sunsets I have ever seen in my entire life. It's one of my favorite spots, not only in the country, but in the world. So beautiful sunset. And then I went my first night when I was on Ometepe. I then convinced 12 people at the hostel I was staying at to join me on night 2. And we were treated to a full moon rising over the volcano after the sunset. So it was almost like the sun and the moon were dancing for us at this spot.
Oh, amazing.
This spot, hands down, one of my favorite in the entire world.
Now, you mentioned the volcanoes. What about getting up close to them? That looked like they were kind of in the distance.
Yeah.
What about getting close to them? Are you allowed to?
Yes. So outside of a town called Leon is a volcano day experience where you actually hike to the top of a volcano, 2,400 feet above sea level. Here's me hiking with a group. You hike with a board and you go volcano boarding down the volcano.
I was wondering if that was what was going to come.
So this is the hike. You have almost like prehistoric views, like you're feeling like you're going back in time. I was waiting for dinosaurs to pop out, and you have beautiful views of the volcanoes. And then when you there's a crater at the hike in the top of the volcano. When you get to the top of the volcano, you then put on a yellow suit. You have your yellow board. And I recommend definitely going at sunset because then you'll be treated not only to beautiful views, but a gorgeous sunset. And here is us riding down the volcano. I have never seen this adventure anywhere.
look at that.
Anywhere in the world, anywhere in my life. So there's me scooting down the volcano. You have the sunset in the background. We hiked up 2,400 feet to the top of the volcano, and then you ride your board. They go through a whole safety briefing at the top, so it is safe. And it's one of the most adrenaline pumping adventures I have ever done in my life. They also do it where you can choose to race people going down. So it looks like you're on fire as you're boarding down the volcano. So much fun.
You know, real quick, I know I'm venturing off the script here with questions, but what about family? Would you consider this not only a family destination, but for those that aren't, how safe? I mean, how do you feel when you go?
That's the number one question I got about going to Nicaragua. How safe did I feel? And my parents, they're the ones, they worry about me when I go to these type of destinations. And I say, the locations I'm going to, Ometepe, Leon, and we're going to talk about some other ones real quick. They're tourist spots and hubs. And they felt safe to me. I never felt unsafe in those destinations or locations. And I also feel like there's spots in the United States you could go to that don't feel safe. I'd say to my mom, when I go home to Chicago, I'm not going to unsafe locations in Chicago. So in Nicaragua, the spots I'm talking about are spots that tourists go to, they frequent, so they do feel safe. And you also have to use common sense in any country when you're traveling. You have to be smart in terms of, are you going to walk around alone at night in any country?
Right.
Probably not. Right. So I would say apply logic and sense to Nicaragua as you would to any destination or any country.
All right, finally I want to talk about surfing. I know my brother's a huge surfer.
Yeah.
He went there on his honeymoon
good,
because he was like, I need to surf Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Yeah, San Juan del Sur is one of the most popular spots in the world, not only Nicaragua, for surfing.
Gorgeous.
There's me surfing. Let me tell you, I am not an expert or amazing surfer, but in Nicaragua, I felt like I was a pro because the waves at the beaches that I went to were so easy to get up on. About 90% of the time, I felt like I was actually getting up on the waves compared to what I do, in Santa Monica or in Venice Beach here in California. So I would say for beginner and intermediate surfers, there are beautiful beaches. There's over 17 beaches in San Juan del Sur. A lot of them are very good for intermediate to beginner surfers. You can rent boards, you can do lessons. The beach that I was here surfing, always having a beer. So it's always good to have a beer after a good surf, but I would say that the surfing is nice there, and the nice thing too
look
is
at that picture.
Well, and notice I'm not in a wetsuit. So the water temperature in Nicaragua was, it's warm.
Yeah.
So in terms of compared to surfing that we do here in California, the water temperature is so much warmer. So I was in the water more in Nicaragua than I am surfing here in LA.
Okay, finally, affordability. I'm assuming you can get some pretty good deals.
Super affordable. Like the Volcano adventure was $30, I think.
Oh, wow.
So you do that in the United States, that would cost you probably $100 to $200.
Yeah.
The US dollar goes very far in Nicaragua, and you can get a lot for your money in Nicaragua.
Great
Looks
stuff.
beautiful.
Justin, thank you so much.
course.
You can follow Justin's travels by visiting his website. Go to justinwelter.com or on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, ATW Justin. Great to see you. We'll see you soon. Justin, thank you. We'll be right back.